Hey there, Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal. It's time for the Sci-Fi Book of the Week. Actually, we got three books we're talking about today. It's a trilogy by the Canadian feminist science fiction auteur maestra herself, Margaret Atwood, and it was written between 2003 and 2013, and it's called the Maddaddam Trilogy. It starts off with Oryx and Crake. Its middle book is called The Year of the Flood, and the final book is called Maddaddam. And I don't know if you should read it. Seriously, it might scare the shit out of you. I think that there's something about feminist writers like Ursula K. Le Guin, Octavia E. Butler, and Margaret Atwood that they are the most brutal when it comes to depictions of victimization and suffering in science fiction. There are some stuff that they can get away with that just men cannot. And the Maddaddam Trilogy is about it's about the end of the world as we know it, and it's a post-apocalyptic tale. And being in this lockdown 2020-21 place that we're in, it's scarier than normal, than usual, than what it was intended. Begin it with a guy waking up on a beach as a human, and he's pretty sick. And it starts from there, finding survivors, and then finding another genetically engineered race of people that are kind of human, but just a little bit different. And it's about a plague, about a genetically engineered plague that was purposely released in the world. This sound familiar? It's about how this plague decimates the world, and it's focused on just one area geographically, but it's set in the near future, and it's very similar to life now, and about it. But it's one of the scariest books I've ever read. It's like somebody took Stephen King's The Stand and just made it more plausible by taking away the supernatural and by taking away the God aspects of it as well, and making it purely scientific and sociological, and the depiction of how society fell and the brutality that humans commit to each other when there's this collapse of civilization. And then comes the genetic manipulation parts. There are the Crakers, who are these, they're people, but they're like very innocent kind of people, and they're genetically engineered humanoids, and they are very naive and very innocent, and they're very tribalistic as well. And then comes other awful kind of genetic manipulations, like the Pagoons, which are part pig and part baboon, and they're bred to have 6 kidneys and 6 livers, I believe, to make it easier to get human transplants from. And then there are these weird, like, brainstem chicken stumps that are bred just for food, and they have really no mobility and nothing like as sentient life forms go, but they're alive, they breathe, and they have, but they're bred strictly as food stock, and it follows the adventures of a few of the survivors, and how they get together, how they find each other, and how they stick together. And I think one of the most interesting things is there's a beekeeper, and how she learns how to keep the bees, but how she talks to the bees as well. And it's a beautiful thing, especially with bee populations in such a decline. And but it's so scary the way that this was done on purpose, and it was done because someone chose that humanity is the greatest risk and threat to the world, and to winnow their numbers down, and to get rid of humanity, to replace them with these benign Crakers. And Oryx and Crake themselves are two people that take the names of extinct animals, and they're activists, and it is their, and they put this in motion. And it's a beguiling and interesting book, but it's also so very brutal and so harrowing. And I'm giving it a second read because it is that good. It is the Maddaddam Trilogy by Margaret Atwood, the woman that brought us The Handmaid's Tale. And if you haven't read The Handmaid's Tale, I'd say, well, stay away from the Hulu show, because that's just The Handmaid's Tale in name and property and IP. The real value of that story is in the novel, which is incredible. It's so powerful, and it was written about close to 30 years ago, 35 years ago. And still rings true today, but this was only written about close to 20 years ago and finished about 10 years ago, about 2013, and it is that good. If you like Stephen King's The Stand, you're gonna love Margaret Atwood's Maddaddam Trilogy. It's grotesque, it's violent, and it talks about a post-human world in which society as we know it is done, and there are very few humans left, and the world will go on and keep spinning. And it's just, what an imagination and what a world Atwood builds in these books. And it's worth sharing, and it's worth sharing with you. So if you like science fiction, you like speculative fiction, you like horror, this could be for you. And it's the story of Zeb and Toby, and of Jimmy, and of Oryx and Crake, and the Crakers, who you're going to fall in love with as well. And Amanda, poor Amanda. And about humanity, and about what happens when the days of humans are over and going forward altogether. It's just, I don't want to say it's bleak. I don't want to say it's hopeless. I want to say it's fascinating, and it's amazing, and it's worth a read. And that's all I got to say for today. This has been the Sci-Fi Book of the Week, the book club. It is Margaret Atwood's Maddaddam Trilogy, which starts with Oryx and Crake. The middle book is The Year of the Flood, and its final book, Maddaddam. And go get it. I read it on Audible.com as an unabridged audiobook. I had it read to me so I can do other things such as exercise and work. And I tend to enjoy my books better that way. And with my eyesight's getting poor in my old age, so reading is a bit of a struggle. But you know what? Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Leave a comment in the comment section and continue the conversation. Have you read these books? What do you think about these books? I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me a thing or two. Maybe I missed something. These were amazingly just horrible and and exhilarating at the same time. It's everything I want from my fiction. It wasn't fun, but it was fun, and it was entertaining, and it was brutal and harrowing. I mean, and I gotta say, there's something about a feminist author that they can go for victimization and brutality in ways that, I mean, Margaret Atwood makes George R.R. Martin look like Stephen King. And you know what? I'm sticking to that. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. I do make spiritual content in the Sunday sermon. I'm also a professional chef. I want to make cooking videos. I do make cooking videos because I want to share with you my cooking hacks so you can make nutritious, delicious, and beautiful food to share with your family at your table. And if you do, share some photos with me, okay? Well, this has been the Sci-Fi Book Club of the Week. Thank you so much and for tuning in. Namaste and good luck.